Rebecca is anticipated by some to provide testimony about Jake, who would then likely respond with his own account. This dynamic would inevitably lead to one of them receiving different legal considerations. Regarding the hearing on the 16th, it is uncertain if an immediate resolution will be finalized. The outcome depends entirely on the information collected by the prosecution and the strategic approach of the district attorney. His objective could range from securing a resolution to being fully prepared to take this case to trial if necessary. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please consider liking and subscribing to stay updated with all future content. I am genuinely appreciative of all the support you have shown. That baby Emmanuel's story is not forgotten. Amidst all the global events, which I observe with clear focus, my dedication to seeing this case through remains absolute. I have made a personal commitment regarding my beard until definitive answers in this case are found. We are now just 8 days away from a critical court hearing, a conference where the district attorney will meet with the legal counsel representing Jake and Rebecca to discuss a potential resolution. The public narrative suggests a deal might be negotiated, though the viability of any agreement remains uncertain. From an analytical standpoint, the circumstances raise questions about the appropriateness of a deal for these individuals. A resolution would be most meaningful if it were contingent upon them providing a complete and truthful account of baby Emmanuel's whereabouts. The available information presents a deeply concerning picture of their situation and the serious allegations they face. Public records indicate their involvement is a key area of investigation, and the focus now shifts to whether they will provide information that aligns with the evidence. My assessment of the known facts is firmly established, regardless of any future statements that might attempt to assign responsibility to other parties. I now pose a critical question to all of you watching to gauge your perspective on this developing situation. If you support the pursuit of clarity for baby Emmanuel and other children in difficult circumstances, please share your view. The central question is, which individual will be the first to cooperate with authorities? We have one individual, Jake, who is connected to previous allegations. In the other corner, we have Rebecca, who is perceived by many as being involved in the overall situation. Your analysis is requested on which of these two will likely provide information first. The current absence of either individual assigning blame to the other is, from my perspective, a significant element of this case. This dynamic could suggest a shared understanding between them regarding the events that transpired. It indicates they are both facing serious allegations and are therefore choosing to maintain a consistent stance, as they are both central figures in this case. Their son is officially listed as missing, yet their public statements appear more focused on supporting each other than on aiding the search for him. Jake was quick to publicly declare Rebecca's positive attributes as a mother, while she reciprocated by defending his character. This strategy of mutual support appears inconsistent with the previous allegations and the current situation involving their other child, Promise. This behavior further solidifies the view of Rebecca's role as a participant in this case. They continue to prolong the uncertainty for baby Emmanuel, Promise, and every other child connected to their household by not sharing what they know. A basic sense of compassion and humanity would compel most people to end this situation, especially concerning their own family. The alleged events that took place within their home are the subject of a serious investigation. The nature of the experiences that baby Emmanuel is believed to have faced is a deeply saddening aspect to consider. It is a fundamental responsibility for parents to provide a safe and nurturing environment for the children they bring into the world. Most parents make daily sacrifices to ensure their children have better lives and more opportunities than they did. I personally prioritize my children's well-being above all my personal possessions and space. Being a parent requires accepting that your life is irrevocably changed, with your children's needs coming first. I recently reflected on my own responsibilities after a moment of frustration, and I was grateful I prioritized my role as a parent. Jake and Rebecca, based on all available information, appear to have approached this philosophy differently. The analysis of their background suggests a pattern of utilizing state assistance programs, with questions raised about the use of systems designed to help those in genuine need. Their employment history appears to have been sporadic and inconsistent. It seems highly improbable that their relationship can withstand the immense pressure of the current legal situation. Therefore, I maintain that it is only a matter of time before their current stance changes and they begin to provide information. My assessment is that Rebecca, currently influenced by her emotional attachment, is the more likely candidate to reconsider her position first. Jake, with his prior history, faces different legal considerations and is likely aware of the stakes involved in a trial. Public attention often focuses on Jake, but the role of the other individual is equally critical in understanding situations like this. I have my own analytical conclusions regarding the sequence of events in the disappearance of baby Emmanuel. Our immediate focus, however, must be on the legal proceedings scheduled in 8 days. The district attorney and the defense lawyers will convene to discuss the case's direction. The integrity of the upcoming process hinges on the district attorney's approach. If the district attorney's strategy is not thoroughly considered, a resolution that is too favorable might be proposed. These individuals are in a very difficult position, but that does not change the fact that a baby is missing and the truth is the ultimate goal. We require conclusive answers. A district attorney with strong principles and sound judgment would prioritize uncovering the complete truth above all else. While my analysis leads me to question the basis for a deal, I understand the legal pragmatism that sometimes necessitates them. The nature of the evidence, which is largely circumstantial, can present challenges for a prosecution, potentially raising concerns about the perspectives of a jury. I remain confident that law enforcement possesses more information than has been publicly disclosed. However, I also acknowledge that the justice system can produce unexpected outcomes. My prediction for the hearing is as follows. I believe the prosecution will present a potential resolution involving a significant period of incarceration to gauge their reactions. Such an offer may not seem acceptable to Jake, as his legal team might still believe they can present a different narrative at trial. This is the precise moment where a change in their mutual stance would likely begin. Rebecca, who has been provided a state-appointed attorney, might be counseled by her lawyer to share information. I suspect she may not provide the full account initially, but might offer a version of events that presents a different perspective on Jake's role. Jake would almost certainly respond in a similar manner. Their relationship, which was reportedly maintained under challenging conditions, would then be tested. This shift in their accounts would ideally lead investigators closer to the facts, allowing baby Emmanuel's case to move toward a resolution. However, a legal outcome in this case feels incomplete without considering broader implications. I sincerely hope that proposed legislative changes in baby Emmanuel's name are passed by Congress to help protect other children in vulnerable situations. There are countless other children, like Promise, who have waited for clarity while the adults responsible for their well-being have not provided answers. The situation has reached a point where a definitive conclusion is necessary. These two individuals are expected to be held responsible for the allegations they face. As one of the many voices following baby Emmanuel's case, I note that each day that passes is a step in the legal process. They are individuals who are currently separated from the community as their case proceeds. Their current status is a temporary measure, but a trial would provide a final adjudication. The conditions of confinement are widely recognized as difficult, and each day they are in that environment is part of the judicial process. They are in a situation where they must reflect on their circumstances, all while their son's whereabouts remain unknown. I find it challenging to understand the perspective that allows a person to maintain support for someone facing such serious allegations involving a child. The direct appeal to Rebecca would be to consider the maternal role. Her personal future may be significantly impacted, but she could still demonstrate concern for her child by sharing information. I will continue to serve as a voice following this case and advocating for a thorough legal process. Ultimately, we must observe how the judicial process unfolds. I have shared my perspective on other platforms that focus on factual commentary. My analysis leads me to conclude that Rebecca will be the first to provide information about her partner. She would likely receive different legal considerations in exchange for her cooperation. The ideal outcome of maximum sentences for both, while desired by many, is a complex aspect of such negotiations. The realistic outcome is that one may provide testimony about the other. I am asking you, the audience invested in this story, to consider the situation and share your analysis. I will continue to follow this case closely. These individuals are at the center of serious allegations. It is a significant aspect of the case that an alternative narrative was presented, attempting to assign responsibility to another group. This attempt to redirect the investigation is a notable part of the official record. The fundamental reality of the situation is now the focus of the legal system. Rebecca is anticipated by some to provide testimony about Jake, who would then likely respond with his own account. This dynamic would inevitably lead to one of them receiving different legal considerations. Regarding the hearing on the 16th, it is uncertain if an immediate resolution will be finalized. The outcome depends entirely on the information collected by the prosecution and the strategic approach of the district attorney. His objective could range from securing a resolution to being fully prepared to take this case to trial if necessary. The individuals involved may still choose to proceed to trial, but the environment often leads defendants to consider resolution agreements. We will simply have to wait and see what decisions these two individuals make. I will be providing coverage and updates when the hearing occurs on the 16th. As stated, we will continue to follow this story, persistently noting that baby Emmanuel, Promise, and every child in similar situations deserve clarity. We must not disengage just because Jake and Rebecca are currently in custody. They have not yet been through a full trial and are legally presumed innocent, a cornerstone of our judicial system, even though public discourse often revolves around the known allegations. The distinction between legal standards and public perception is a complex aspect of this case that requires thoughtful consideration. I would now like you to answer the initial question for me in the comments section. Your feedback is valuable, and I am interested in gauging the consensus among my viewers and supporters. You may have noticed an evolution in my channel's content recently. I am consciously expanding into broader areas, like world news and true crime, focusing on stories that are impactful for adults and parents. Those of us who are dedicated parents, in contrast to the public narrative surrounding Jake and Rebecca, have a perspective on this case. We must continue to be aware, as a lack of awareness can lead to other children facing difficult circumstances without sufficient attention. My personal focus on this issue is steadfast, and I am prepared to continue discussing it. When the conference occurs on October 16th, I will be monitoring the developments just like many of you. My primary interest is the legal outcome for these individuals, and many hope to see the case reach a conclusion. However, an even greater priority than the legal proceedings is the recovery of baby Emmanuel. He deserves to be located and given a respectful memorial by those who are concerned for him, rather than having his memory associated only with a temporary site. He is entitled to a dignified and permanent place of remembrance. This is a final request for anyone with information to come forward. Is there any possibility that Jake and Rebecca might share what they know? If the individual they initially mentioned is watching, I would encourage that person to provide any factual information to the authorities without attributing fault to others. That concludes the main content of this video.